everybody and welcome back to the Blossom Crochet Channel. In this tutorial I will be showing you probably my favourite stitch for using with these really chunky, snuggly chenille type yarns. So this is a hobby yarn. I will leave the information for it in the description, and I've been using a 7mm hook for this one. And you can see that with this stitch you get these gorgeous textured stitches, so it's a mini weave stitch basically, and you can see it is completely reversible as well, so it's exactly the same front and back. And I've just found that these types of post stitches just work so wonderfully with these super chunky chenille type yarns that I just wanted to do a quick tutorial for it. Now, it also obviously looks really good in plain yarn, variegated yarn, chunky yarn, DK yarn, any yarn that you like. But I will be using this chunky yarn here for the purpose of the tutorial because these chenille yarns are notoriously difficult to see on camera. So that is how it looks in the chenille yarn. But as I say, I'm just going to be using this Baby Blossom chunky for the purpose of the tutorial because it just shows up on camera so much better. I'm going to take a moment just to say, if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe to it right now. Click that little bell icon so that you can receive notifications, and also leave me a comment as well because you have no idea how much that helps the channel. So let me know in the comments what you think about the video and also whether you're going to give this one a go. But let's just pop straight on with the tutorial. So we'll be starting with our slip knot on our hook as always, and for this one you want to do a foundation chain in a multiple of 4. So you'll do multiples of 4, so 4, 8, 12 and so on until you get to the desired width that you want for your project. So a multiple of 4 and then add an additional 2 chains onto the end. So to chain 1, 2, 3, 4. So you chain your groups of 4. So I've done my multiples of 4 and I'm adding those additional 2 chains to the end of that chain. So we now want to work across our foundation chain, and you want to work into the 4th chain from the hook. So you've got 1, 2, 3 and this is our 4th. And we're just going to work 1 UK treble crochet into every single chain. So remember, UK treble, in the US, double crochet. So yarn over, insert into your 4th chain, yarn over and pull up, and you'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I'll show you that one more time. Yarn over, insert into your next chain, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So 1 UK treble or US double into every single chain. Okay, so you should have your lovely row of trebles. So at this point we want to turn our work around. So we're just classing that as our setup row. So I'm going to count this row that we're starting now as row 1, just to make it easier because this is the start of your pattern repeat. So these were just your setup row, and then this row now is row 1. So I've turned, and then into this very first chain I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through both of those loops, and then I'm going to go behind the left vertical post of this stitch, yarn over and pull up, and then yarn over, pull through both, and that just gives us a nice tall stitch but without gapping that we would get from a chain. So this is where we're going to start doing our post stitches. So we're going to be using both back post stitches and front post stitches. So when you work a back post stitch, let me just take my hook out, I'm just going to come along to a random stitch. When you work a back post stitch, what that means is you want to push the post of this stitch backwards. So that means you're going to bring your hook through from the back and go around that treble and then out the other side, and that pushes that backwards, okay? So that will be how we work our back post trebles. And when we do a front post treble, you've probably guessed it, we go in from the front and around that treble and out the other side, and that pushes that stitch forwards to the front, okay? So we've got back post trebles where you come in from the back and go around and out the other side, and then you've got front post trebles where you go in from the front and around and out the other side, okay? So we're going to start with 2 back post trebles. So in the US, these will be your back post doubles. So you'll yarn over and then approach from the back and go in front of that post and out the other side. And as you can see, that will just push that treble to the back. Yarn over and pull up, and then you'll have your 3 loops as normal, and you'll complete as normal. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that's worked around that stitch, because we already did our stitch for the very first one when we worked up, and then that stitch we've just done was around the next stitch. So now we're going to move on to the next stitch here and do another back post treble. So yarn over from the back and out the other side, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's our 2 back post trebles. We now want to do 2 front post trebles. So yarn over, so we've worked around these 2, and this is our next stitch here. You'll go from the front and around that stitch, yarn over and pull up, and then complete as normal. So that's your first front post treble, and then you'll do another front post treble around the next stitch. Okay, so then we're switching back to back post trebles. So 2 back post trebles, so one around the next 2 stitches. One, and 2, and then again you're going to switch and do 2 front post stitches. So 2 front post trebles around, so one around the next 2 stitches, that's 1, and then around the next one that will be 2. So you can see you're starting to build that bit of texture already. So if you continue that all the way along, so 2 back post trebles, 2 front post trebles, back post, front post, all the way along. So I've worked that pretty much all the way along. I've done 1 back post treble here, and I've got these 2 stitches left. So I've got a normal stitch here, and then I've got these chains. So I'm just going to work my final back post treble around that last proper stitch, and then into the top of these chains here I'm just going to work a UK half treble or US half double. So you can see you've got the top of our last proper stitch here, and then you want the next stitch. So yarn over, insert into that last chain, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through all of those loops. So that is how you should look at the moment. Obviously it's much more defined once you've worked up a few rows. So that is row 1 of your pattern repeat. You'll turn your work again, and this is row 2 of your pattern repeat. So straight into this very first stitch here, just like in the last row, you will insert your hook, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, behind the vertical post of that stitch, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2. So that is worked our first stitch for this row. So now we want to do a front post treble. So you'll have these 2 that stick out towards you, and then you'll have 2 that sit further back and 2 that stick out towards you. So around the ones that are sticking out towards you, you are going to do a front post treble around those 2 stitches. So around that first one, and around the second one, 2, so they'll be nice and easy to work around. And then you're going to do 2 back post trebles around the ones that are further away. So yarn over and do your back post trebles around those next 2 stitches. Okay, and then back to 2 front post trebles around the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2, and then again you'll switch to 2 back post trebles. So you'll get so used to doing your post stitches you won't even have to think about it after a little while, because you'll know exactly where that hook needs to go to create what you need. And then you will just repeat that all the way along, so 2 front post, 2 back post, 2 front post, and so on. And I will meet you as you get towards the end again. And pretty much at the end I've just got 1 final front post treble to work. And then we've got our very final stitch here to work. So we're going to work our half treble into that very last stitch. Okie dokie, so that is how you should be looking right now. We're going to turn our work, and this is now row 3 of our repeat. So again, we're going to work that same stitch in our very first stitch that we've done for the last 2 rows. Okay. This time we're doing exactly the same as the last row, but we will be working it around our back post stitches. So we're going to start with 2 front post trebles around these first 2 stitches. So these will be sitting further back. Okay, so you'll do front post treble around those first 2 stitches, 1 and the next one, 2, and then these ones that are sitting towards you, we're going to do back post trebles around these 2 stitches. So pushing that stitch out to the back. So that's the first one, and then around the second one as well. Again, pushing that out to the back. And then again, 2 front post trebles for the next 2 stitches, the ones that are sitting further back again. So front post around those. And then again, 2 back posts around the ones that are sitting towards you. Sorry if you can hear the dog snoring, I do promise it's not me. So that's your 2 back posts. And again, continue that all the way along, so you'll now have 2 front posts, then 2 back posts, 2 front posts, 2 back posts, and I'll meet you towards the end again. So for this row you should be finishing with 2 front post trebles and those final 2 stitches. And then again, as normal, we're going to work our final stitch, so our half treble into that very last stitch. So finish with a half treble, and then again you'll turn, and then this now is row 4 of your pattern repeat. So again, you'll work your first stitch as we have all the previous rows. And we're going to start with 2 back post trebles. So yarn over around the back and push that stitch out towards the back. 1, oops, and 2, And then these ones that are sticking out towards you, you're going to do 2 front post trebles. 1 and 2. And I'm sure you can guess we're then going to switch back to 2 back post trebles. 1 2, and then 2 front post trebles. And again, you'll repeat that all the way along, which is where I will meet you in a second. So you will be finishing with your 2 back post trebles, and then again a half treble in that very last stitch. So that is how you should be looking at the moment. And you're just going to repeat rows 1 to 4 over and over again. So you've just completed a row 4, so now you will want to go back to a row 1. So I will leave timestamps in the description box so you can just click on whichever row you need and it will take you to that point in the tutorial. But you should now be able to go back and use those timestamps if you need to, and continue repeating those 4 rows until your project is the size that you want it to be. But I really do hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please do give it a thumbs up and also leave me a comment. But I will see you again for another tutorial really soon. But thank you as always for watching, and bye for now.